Okay, good morning from the National Weather Service in Raleigh, North Carolina. My name is Aaron Swiggett, meteorologist here. I'll be providing the Thursday weekly briefing from Central North Carolina. And today we'll be covering this period from today, September 4th through September 10th. All right, let's go ahead and get it started off here with the upcoming weather pattern here. So for the most part, in the top left-hand portion here, there's a cold front draped down from eastern Canada down through the Great Lakes and into the Ohio and Tennessee Valley. For the most part, this cold front is going to be very slowly progressing eastward and mainly remain north and west of the area through even into Saturday morning. So not a whole lot of impact associated with this cold front as of yet. So we'll keep that to the north and west. And as that remains north and west of our area, you can kind of see here on Saturday as where the front is down through the eastern Ohio and Tennessee Valley. That we're going to warm up relatively well into the 90s Friday into Saturday. So Raleigh only saw a 190-degree day all of August, and we may have two on our hands to start off September. So a little bit warmer. Should be fairly brief as Saturday night. You can kind of see down here as we progress into the bottom left-hand panel on Monday, this big area of high pressure moving into the Ohio Valley will push that cold front down through our area and return some below normal and temperatures and less rain chances there. As that front progresses through ahead of it and then along it immediately behind it, we may see some increased rain chances there. So for perspective there, Saturday afternoon, we may see some showers and thunderstorms progress through our area, maybe lingering into the overnight period to some degree, but then maybe a resurgence of that into Sunday as that front is actually moving through the area. So we'll keep an eye on that for you, and we'll dive into a little bit more details here. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about the experimental heat risk here. If you were with me on Tuesday, I highlighted this same time frame, and you can kind of see how it has progressed today. So mostly just minor to moderate heat risk there, which is highlighting anyone who is sensitive to heat may see some related uptick in potential illnesses there from heat related, especially if you don't have any access to any cooling or hydration, but mainly for individuals who are particularly sensitive to heat, we'll see some increased impacts there. That will be Friday and Saturday with us cooling down going into Sunday and into early next week. And then just for everyone's awareness here, Saturday looks to be the warmest day. And you can see widespread 90s, even mid to potentially even upper 90s down across the sandhills and southern coastal plain there. And just for comparison here, just to see how this differs from normal for this time of year for your area, this graphic on the right shows that here. So anywhere between 5 to 10 degrees above normal for Saturday. All right, so let's look at the accumulated precipitation. So for today, we should have some scattered showers and thunderstorms developing along the central Appalachian Mountains and then progressing eastward with time towards the Triad, and potentially even some isolated or decaying showers reach the Triangle later today. And we'll dive a little bit more into that here in a second. But Friday, mostly dry. Should see maybe some isolated stuff out in the mountains, but for the most part for Central North Carolina, very dry. And then Saturday will be any additional convection out ahead of the front as that moves through on Saturday. So this is for the most part more of like a widespread forecast, but there may be some isolated embedded higher totals in there for Saturday, especially if any showers and thunderstorms do develop. But it should be fairly quick moving there. And then a continuation of that into Sunday, but mainly the main amounts of precipitation, mainly along the coast down into South Carolina. And you can see that fairly well in its 5-day total in the bottom right, where you see the darker greens and blues up to our north and west, and then again to our south and east. So for the most part, unless you have a shower that moves directly over your area, maybe limited precipitation chances into the next 5 days. We will see, however, how Saturday progresses. It may trend a little bit more coverage, showers and thunderstorms, especially with it being very hot and humid. We'll see how that forecast progresses, but stay tuned for anything for Saturday. Okay, hinted at a little bit for some showers and thunderstorms. This is kind of what I want to get at here for today, Thursday, this far left, top left graphic here. We do have an isolated threat for some strong to severe thunderstorms, mainly maybe north of I-85 would probably be the best chance there. At least as far as areas impacted in central North Carolina, the Triad probably has the best chance to see an isolated strong wind gust, but for the most part, we're not expecting anything widespread as far as the strong wind gusts go there. And then we have another chance of very dry on Friday, but another chance on Saturday as that front is going to be moving through, or just ahead of the front as it's moving through on Saturday. And again, both days, the main threat will be damaging straight line winds there. Then, of course, with any thunderstorm, the threat for cloud to ground or lightning is possible. With any thunderstorm, you don't need a severe thunderstorm to cause concerns or impacts there. So always remain weather aware. All right, so we're going to go ahead and look at the tropical outlook here. And I did have a question from Chris about tropical weather for the 18th to 20 time frame, maybe a little far out, but for the most part, this is really the only area of interest that the Hurricane Center is really looking at here with across the central Atlantic here. It has an 80% chance of development within the next 7 days, and in the top right graphic here, you can kind of see has a 50% chance of development within the next 48 hours. So we'll keep an eye on that. There's a lot of uncertainty as it progresses, how it progresses westward, and once it reaches the as far as like the latitude of Bermuda or so, for where it's going to track there. So stay cognizant on the forecast here, but as of right now, there is no concerns or no threats for the eastern United States, but we'll be sure to keep you guys updated on that. Still a very long way away, and we have plenty of time to prepare for this one. But just a reminder, we are entering our peak hurricane season, so it is important to stay alert and stay prepared. All right, we didn't highlight this on Tuesday. It wasn't much change, but did want to highlight it here today for the drought update. It's been quite a few days, going on probably 2 weeks or so without any kind of measurable precipitation, and that's starting to have an effect as far as the drought updates here go. So if you wanted to take a peek or screenshot this here, just to show that we're starting to see some abnormally dry starting to peak out into portions of our area, mainly across the northeast there, where even in August, the portions of northeastern central North Carolina didn't really see a whole lot of rain in August. So starting to see the first areas where we're starting to see some drought, abnormally dry conditions, not necessarily drought conditions, but the first stage of that. Progressing into week 2 of the forecast here for the 8 to 14 day outlook, basically for the mid portions of September, the 11th through 17th. Still slightly favoring the below normal temperatures with that high pressure kind of lingering over our area and increasing cloud cover and maybe even some precipitation chances. So keeping things slightly favoring below normal, but then also very near normal precipitation chances as you get out to the western portions of North Carolina, maybe favoring slightly below normal. So kind of keeping an eye on drought conditions out there. But with the front kind of pinned along the coast for several days, we may see some above normal precipitation along the coast, but mainly remaining east of central North Carolina there. And I did want to mention that when I was updating the normal temperatures for our 3 climate sites in central North Carolina, starting to see some fairly rapid drops in our normal temperatures now. So you can kind of see our normal temperatures for our area in central North Carolina in the low 80s for highs and the low 60s for lows. So that trend continues fairly rapidly as we go through September. Okay, here is the hazardous weather outlook in graphical form. For the most part, we have our severe thunderstorm risk for today and for Saturday. And again, for Saturday, that'll most likely be mainly just a thunderstorm wind threat there. And again, lightning out in the western Piedmont, maybe as far east as this triangle, but we should see things trending downward as it reaches towards the triangle. Again, for Saturday, we also have that lightning threat as far as Saturday being our best day for potential heat-related illnesses there, again, for mostly people who are susceptible to heat. And then the lightning threat for Sunday, Tuesday, Wednesday, that's mostly going to be south and east of our area, but maybe clipping our portions of our coastal plain there. So nothing too much of a concern from there. And that's pretty much everything I have for you guys today. So if you have any questions, feel free to hang around for the Q&A portion. Otherwise, I hope you have a great rest of your day, and we will see, hopefully you have a great weekend as well, and we will see you again on Monday.